Hello there and welcome. In this lecture right here, I would like to show you how you can use ChatGPT on your browser. Without further ado, let's get right into it. First thing is first, if you want to look for ChatGPT, just go to google.com, look for ChatGPT, and then click the official ChatGPT link, which is going to take you right here, where you can utilize ChatGPT on your computer or browser. I'm using Chrome. It depends on what you're using. But basically, you can use ChatGPT if you have an email account, right? So you just need an account and for free, and you can use it. And like I said, right now, you can use ChatGPT for the most part for really free. You have access to GPT-4o. It is the free alternative to GPT-4, and it is even much better. Since this course is about print on demand, we're going to focus for the most part on print on demand. But I must clarify how ChatGPT functions for the most part. So before we dive in right in any prompts, I want to tell you that ChatGPT can make mistakes, and they themselves have written it right here. ChatGPT can make mistakes. Check important info. As you can see it right there. Now, ChatGPT can make mistakes. It doesn't mean that its responses are not good. It only means that it would be better off if you actually monitor it. Don't trust everything it gives you. Make sure that you control ChatGPT. All right. So here on this right-hand side, notice that you have access to settings, which you can click like that, and you can see if you have a plan. For me, I have the $20 a month plan, the Plus plan. You wouldn't really need it necessarily, simply for the fact because you can use GPT-4o, okay? And there's another plan, which is the team plan, in case you have a team and you want to share ChatGPT with more people. Now here, if I click my GPTs, we're going to come to those later. But as of now, let me show you customized ChatGPT. This is a very interesting feature. It's called custom instructions, in other words. And what it helps you to do, it helps you to prompt ChatGPT in such a way that you program it to become a specific person. So for example, if you want ChatGPT to become an expert designer, you can come over here and give it a persona of an expert designer by typing in expert designer. You can give it an age, 37-year-old man working in, let's just say, Abercrombie or Abercrombie or Combi, I'm not sure, and Fitch, and you can just keep giving it custom instructions. And here you can generally dictate how you'd like it to respond. Personally, in this case, I'm not going to use custom persona or custom instructions because I can just simply use the chat to prime ChatGPT and give it a persona or give it more details instead. But you can absolutely do that. This will be very helpful, for example, if you are a sales rep or a sales director or a customer representative and you want ChatGPT to understand the hurdles about your job and to actually, you give it a description about yourself, which will make it pretty much, it will make it act like you. It will make it become, in other words, somewhat like you. Right, so you can program it to be another extension about yourself using custom instructions, which you can just save and enable for all chats, which means that this will be taken into consideration from now on for all the rest of the chats. If I click to exit here, we have this option. It's called the settings option. And the settings option here enables you to change the way this looks on the browser. So if you want it to be light, you can just choose light. If you want it to be dark, then it's dark or system. Dark is actually pretty good. And you can actually choose the language. So if you want the language to be auto-detect, it would be better off for you to keep it as auto-detect because like that, ChatGPT actually figures out what language you're using automatically without you having to each and every time mention that to it. But if you, for example, just talk one language, you can just mention the language. If it's Arabic, then you just say Arabic. Or English or whatever language you have. Now, archive chats, I'll let you manage those. These are your chats. You can archive chats and manage them. And basically, when you add them to the archive, even after 30 days, they will not be removed. You can always get access to them. And this is really important because sometimes you have a chat that you don't want to lose. And ChatGPT chats, basically, they get recycled every 30 days. And so generally speaking, some chats you want to keep because you might be using them every day because there are some specific prompts that you have used during those chats to actually, you've done a lot of work and you don't want to lose that because you're using those prompts every day and you want to always find them back. You can add them to the archive. As far as personalization is concerned, I need to tell you that ChatGPT has a memory, and ChatGPT's memory is it remembers previous conversation. So if you don't want ChatGPT to remember and recall previous conversation, if you think that's going to be a blockage, you can simply deactivate the memory feature of ChatGPT, which is going to enable you to have a clear or clean conversation every time you start a chat with ChatGPT. Now, as far as the speech is concerned, you can always change the voiceover artist to someone else instead of the one that you're using. In this case, we have Ember, Juniper, Breeze, Cove. There's multiple. They'll add more in the future. As far as data controls here, you can add some links, export your chat data, or even delete your account if you want to. Personally, I leave the improve the model for everyone on. This allows me to like or dislike answers from ChatGPT, which allows us to contribute to the community. Now, the builder profile here, we're going to talk about the GPT builder profile. So what exactly is the GPT builder profile? It's actually very simple. All right, so there is something called GPT Store, which I'm going to introduce you to. We're also going to create our own GPT that can create designs for the most part. And the GPT Store, if you want to start creating GPTs and adding them to the GPT Store, you would need to have a builder profile. And you must basically create this builder profile, at least by adding your name here and activating your builder profile. You can also add your LinkedIn. You can add your GitHub link or X link or even your own website by making sure you connect the domain to ChatGPT. You can connect apps such as Google Drive, Microsoft OneDrive for business or personal, both of them. And you can basically connect these apps by just simply clicking on a connect, and you can connect the account to ChatGPT. For security purposes, you can enable multi-factor authentication every time you try to log in. Personally, I don't do that, but you can do it if you want to secure your ChatGPT. Now, for the most part here, you can close this, and anytime you want to start a chat with ChatGPT, you can just type something. So, for example, let's say you want to create a design about, I don't know, a design about the Mona Lisa, right? So, create a great and weird Mona Lisa, right? Mona Lisa design. Okay. Now, it's going to tap into its abilities to generate images. Like I said earlier, GPT 3.5 cannot generate images, but currently I'm not using GPT 3.5. I'm using GPT 4, which gives me access to generate images, okay? And GPT 4o and 4 are actually quite similar, except for one fact. GPT 4o is free for everyone to use, and it's more advanced than the GPT 4 version itself, right? Which is paid for me right now. I pay $20 for ChatGPT, and you get access to pretty much the same as me, right? Even better, you're getting access to GPT 4o, which can basically do everything GPT 4 can do and much better because it is faster. Now you can see this response right here. So this is the Mona Lisa that we have generated. Anytime you don't like an image, you can actually click here, bad response, or you can regenerate an image if you don't like it, which means it's going to regenerate another Mona Lisa picture in case you didn't like the first one, right? In case of text prompts, I'm going to show you right now. Let's just wait for a second here for this to render. But in case of a textual response, if you get a text response from ChatGPT, you can actually read that by using the ChatGPT mic or the ChatGPT interpreter. So for instance here, we have this. If I click read aloud, it's going to start reading.
Here's the surreal reinterpretation of the Mona Lisa with vibrant and whimsical elements. I hope you find it great and weird as requested. If you need any adjustments or additional designs, feel free to let me know.
And this voice, it's because I chose it. So that's why this voice comes up like this. You can change the voice from the settings like I explained. Here, we have access to copy the text. And you also have access, if you like this design now, you can say better than before to give them a thumbs up. Now, if you like to change the model, by the way, if you want to use GPT 3.5, it's not generating images. So don't try to use it. But you can switch between models. What this will do is it will basically recreate the image, not using GPT 4o, but this time it's going to utilize GPT 4, right? So it's going to utilize GPT 4 to basically generate the image for you. And so as you can see it right here, this is another image generated by GPT 4 this time, and it looks pretty interesting, doesn't it? And so another thing you can do with ChatGPT, like I said, you can upload images, you can upload files, you can upload a bunch of stuff. We'll get into that later. And if you want to rename this chat, for example, you can right click over here, rename the chat, and I can name it something such as Mona Lisa Weird Design, for example, and I can just be done with it. And if I want to delete a chat, I can just click here on delete. You can archive a chat like this, which means it will not be present here. It will be in your archive. You can go back here to the settings, click settings, and then click here on the archives, data controls. Well, it's actually not here. It's the personalization, general. Okay, general. Manage. And you find here we have the chat. I can always click on it. It will take me back to our chat, which is now archived, meaning it will never be lost. It's in my archive. Now, whenever you want to start a new chat or you want to unarchive this, it will immediately be placed right back here. You can archive it back again. And you can always start a new chat by clicking on a new chat button. You can start a new chat. You can start typing in whatever you want. You can say morning routine for productivity, and it will generate a response. Now, ChatGPT can also be used for many things. Now, we've basically introduced you for the most part to how you can navigate your interface. In the next lecture, we're going to introduce you to the GPT store, how you can create your own GPT, and then we're going to introduce you to prompt engineering strategies that will help you to get the best prompts, and of course the reverse engineering strategy in a lecture after that, in which we're going to explain to you how you can utilize ChatGPT to recreate prompts backwards for you instead of writing them yourself. You can use it to create prompts for you that you can use later to generate designs